Chapter 91 Dragon Blood Tower, Celebration Banquet. You are listening at Mtlnovel Audio. Qin Jiang's eyes lit up when he heard this. There is such a good thing. Although his body has been improving under the tempering of the green fire copper furnace, the speed is still a bit slow. Moreover, after 3 days, his body has become 50% stronger, and he can already feel the existence of a barrier. He knows that is the limit of the green fire copper furnace, and now it is close. If he can get the help of the golden light spirit liquid, maybe he can break this limit. By then, he may have the strength to fight against the 7th level secret warrior who has cultivated a high-level secret weapon. Will all the true disciples participate in the ranking competition? Who is the strongest? He asked. Long Qihan smiled when he heard this, and he had guessed that Qin Jiang would ask this question. Uncle, don't worry. Except for the strongest few, the other true disciples don't care much about this qualifying match. Anyway, they can't get the first place. Besides the rewards for the top 3, they can still be tempted. The rest are all regular resources, so, basically, it's just a formality. The winner will be determined by comparing the strength of the blue fire power. After all, they are all secret warriors, and no one wants to get hurt in the qualifying match. As for the strongest, he is a 4th level secret warrior named Chenyi. He is from the Lu family, the head of the 9 prestigious clans. He is a more sinister person, so uncle must be careful when fighting with him, especially he will pretend to admit defeat and then launch a sneak attack. It's really despicable. Speaking of this, a trace of anger also appeared on Long Qihan's face. Thinking back to the beginning, when he first became a secret warrior, he thought about fighting a wave in the qualifying match to win a place. As a result, he met Chenyi in the first game. This guy, a dignified 4th level secret warrior, actually launched a sneak attack on him, a newly minted secret warrior. It's really shameful and infuriating. Chenyi. Qin Jiang muttered in his heart. He remembered this name. Just hearing the name made him feel that he was not a good person. Brother Long, please take some time to give me a copy of the information of all the true disciples. He said, knowing yourself and the enemy, you can fight 100 battles without danger. Fearlessness does not mean arrogance. Long Qihan nodded. I will arrange for someone to deliver it in the afternoon. A few days later, the core of Long Mansion, Longshui Tower, Qin Jiang went up to the 4th floor, where high-level Jinyu was stored. As for secret weapons, the Long family did not have any secret weapons. After all, compared with the other 2 famous families and the 9 great families, the Long family was not established for too long. It was the previous head of the Long family, that is, Long Daosheng's father, his nominal master at this time, who laid the foundation with a pair of demon suppressing fists. In addition, there was a successor like Long Daosheng, which completely consolidated the position of the famous family, and even became the 2nd famous family after the Wang family. He walked slowly in the house, occasionally picking up a Jinyu to read, until the afternoon. He finished. After leaving the Dragon Blood building, he went to the ancient Dragon Pavilion to ask about the progress, and then went straight back to the Yunhe villa. In the evening, Qin Jiang sat in the pavilion, feeling the breeze with a little summer heat, looking at the panel. Current martial arts, green fire copper furnace skill, perfect, 76%, black evil demon statue skill, perfect, 95%, innate chi ju, perfect, 78%, Tiangang fist, not yet started, for 10 out of 600, 68%, demon cloud flame wind fist, not yet started, for 70/600, 71%. Dragon phase robbery, not yet started, 380/700, 57%. Potential points, 687.6. During the day, he read about 30 high-level Jinyu books, but in the end he only kept these 3. Among them, the Demon Cloud Flame Wind Fist is a top-notch fist from the Demon Refining sect, and it comes from the same source as the 10 demon swords. It is precisely because of this that it is so compatible with him. The Tiangang fist seems to have some connection with the black evil art, so it is also retained. As for the Dragon Tribulation, it is because it is a top-notch Jinyu. In his memory, only the Golden Image art and the black evil art require 800 experience points before entry, which is superior to the other. The 10 demon swords are slightly inferior, requiring 700 points, the same as the Dragon Tribulation. Looking at the experience points behind these 3 Jinyu, they are actually not much away from entry. After all, he is now a 6th level peak secret warrior, and his understanding of martial arts is completely different from the original level. Putting away the panel, he suppressed the idea of adding points. Now the most important thing is to deduce the black evil demon image art to the secret martial arts level. It takes 1,100 potential points to deduce the Black Mountain demon image art, and now it is not much short of it. In a few days, Gulong Pavilion will collect a batch of antiques and old things. Even if there are some missing, they won't be too many. Then, go to the villages and towns outside the city and find some shrines and ancestral halls, and we should be able to gather them all. By then, with the superposition of the 2 secret martial arts, he will really have the strength to compete with high-level secret martial artists. A few days later, Long Mansion. Today's Long Mansion looks particularly festive, with red curtains hanging everywhere, and a band playing musical instruments. In the backyard, there are open-air dining tables everywhere. Many people have already taken their seats, and more are walking back and forth, exchanging feelings. In the lobby, Qin Jiang looked at the people outside the yard and felt a little bored. However, this habit of holding an open-air banquet can be regarded as a continuation of the same lineage. Junior brother, why don't you go and get to know them? Long Daoxing came over and smiled. Qin Jiang smiled. There are too many people. Long Daoxing laughed when he heard this. He didn't expect Qin Jiang to not go out because of this. However, it doesn't matter. No problem. In Ning'an, we Long family members don't need to curry favor with anyone. He said. As soon as he finished speaking, a congratulatory song rang out from outside the door. The 3rd elder of Tong's Hongmen, Si Changyuan, has arrived. The 4th elder of Tong's Hongmen, Wang Ziming, has arrived. The head of Lu family, Lu Xiangyi, has arrived. The head of Yao family, Yao Qianshu, has arrived. Long Daoxing smiled when he heard this. Junior brother, I'll go there. There is a white flour cake from Yuanfang on the table. It tastes good. You can try it. After saying that, he walked out of the courtyard. After he left, Qin Jiang glanced at the long table above the lobby. There were some cakes on it. He could smell the fragrance of flowers and plants from a distance. Just when he was about to go over, he suddenly looked at a certain place in the courtyard. A figure came into his eyes. He tilted his head and smiled, as if he was a little surprised. He walked straight out and headed straight for the edge. Old Procuress, long time no see. Qin Jiang smiled. Aunt Lan turned her head upon hearing the voice, and the young man beside her also turned around. The moment he saw Qin Jiang, the young man's pupils suddenly shrank. It was him? How could he be here? Aunt Lan was the same. She had never expected to meet Qin Jiang here. Mr. Qin. Why are you here? That she didn't expect Qin Jiang to be so lucky and not die in the strange siege of Black Mountain City. After the Black Mountain City was arranged, she went directly back to Ning'an, so she didn't know some of the subsequent things, which was the part that Jinyu Pavilion was responsible for. Qin Jiang was a little surprised. Why did this old procuress look younger? Lan doesn't know your name yet. Now he is the 4th master of the Long family, with a different identity, so naturally he can't be so casual. Aunt Lan's eyes moved slightly. My name is An Lan. Qin Jiang nodded slightly. An Lan. Why are you in Ning'an City? After learning that An Lan left Chaofeng Tower and went out of the city that day, he never saw An Lan again, and he didn't expect that the other party would come here. Chapter 92. Everyone, Long has a favor to ask. You are listening at Mtlnovel Audio. An Lan's expression changed slightly when she heard this. Somehow, she felt a sense of oppression on Qin Jiang's body. However, she adjusted her mind in just a moment, covered her face and chuckled. Mr. Qin may not know that I am originally from Ning'an City, but I was transferred to Heishan City before. If you have free time, you can come to Qin Pavilion to have fun. When the time comes, I will personally select some good girls for you. That's not necessary. Who is this? Qin Jiang's eyes fell on the young man next to An Lan. Just now he noticed that this guy's aura was a little unstable. Did he seem to recognize him? Moreover, looking at the face, how similar is it to Enlon? I'm Si Luyun of the Si family. The young man slightly cupped his hands, showing good etiquette. Qin Jiang raised his eyebrows. Si family. The Si family, one of the three famous families. Although he usually keeps a low profile, he is good at dancing and has good relationships with many famous families. His reputation in Ning'an is even greater than that of the Wang family and the Long family. Low profile. He couldn't help but smile. In his opinion, this is just a disguise, and he just doesn't know what he has in mind. Qin Jiang. He smiled. After saying that, he glanced around, and it seemed that some people recognized him, and immediately said, if you have free time in the future, you can go to Yunhe courtyard in Dongsha to talk. I have something to do, so I will go first. Of course, I will pay you a visit. Si Luyun said with a smile and cupped his hands. After Qin Jiang left, he looked at Enlon. Who is this Qin Jiang, that he went out to interact with people from Jinyu Pavilion? He just came back and he didn't know Qin Jiang's identity yet. Enlon glanced at Qin Jiang's back with deep eyes. He's probably a lucky guy. He probably used his quota from the Red Tiger gang to join the Tongzhongmen. Si Luyun was speechless after hearing this. Is he a lucky guy? Forget it, no matter what, let's find time to do it. This guy actually stupidly revealed his address. He must be a fool too. Tap tap tap. The sound of footsteps came from outside the courtyard and gradually approached, and saw Long Daoxing leading a group of people in. The moment they entered, everyone in the courtyard stood up or stopped to look away. These people are from famous or famous families, and they are all top figures in Ning'an. It can be said that if these people join forces, it will be the end of Ning'an. Except for a few people, no one can resist their will. This is the strength that local families have inherited for hundreds of years. You don't have to be polite. You are here today to give Mr. Long some face, and he will never forget it. You can do whatever you want. The apprenticeship ceremony will begin after a while. Long Daoxing clasped his fists and smiled. After saying that, he looked at the representatives behind him and said, everyone, I'm going to prepare first. There's no need to say any polite words between us. It's just casual. Master Long, you're welcome. Great Elder, you're welcome. After Long Daoxing left, a man in his 50s among the crowd walked towards Si Luyun. Luyun, how did the conversation go? That with a wave of his hand, he asked, his voice limited to the space between the three of them. There's no problem, it's just that there seems to be some urgency over there. Si Luyun said. Si Changyuan nodded. This is normal. No one expected that Long family would actually send Long Yi to solve strange things. It was a miscalculation. The Jinyu Pavilion originally planned to let this strange mist flow down the river and slowly swallow up all the surrounding counties, but they did not expect that the Long family actually sent Long Yi from the beginning. This caused the mist that had not yet formed a downstream trend to be directly cut off and destroyed, resulting in only about 40% of the original plan being completed. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. The Long family was really idle. He thought that the most they could do was send a true disciple from Tongzhongmen. In that way, even if Wei Yi is killed, it will not be able to stop the spread of Wei Yi mist, but unfortunately, the Long family sent Long Yi, a peak 6th order secret warrior, not to mention the unformed mist. Even if it did take shape, he could be cleared away by giving him some time. This is like killing a chicken with a machete. I really don't know what Long Daoxing is thinking. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Enlon, how is the layout at the ruins? He looked at Enlon aside. It has been arranged. Even a 12th level secret warrior will definitely not notice anything strange. Enlon said. Si Changyuan nodded slightly. Finally there was good news. It's not enough to arrange it well. We also need to spread the news in the city. The more secret warriors who go there at that time, the better it will be for us. Understood. But there is no rush. The 9th day of September is the qualifying competition for true disciples, and they will all come back soon. Even if we do, we have to wait until they leave. Si Luyun said, although some people will not participate, the number of people who will come back will definitely exceed 30 people. 30 secret warriors are no big deal. It was enough to make their plan with Jinyu Pavilion fail. That's fine. I don't know where old monster Wang has been recently. We need to plan in advance for the situation where he won't take action. The festive music kept playing, and the apprenticeship ceremony had already begun in the lobby. Long Daoxing stood on the left side above, wearing a black robe, the end of which was already spread on the ground. On both sides of the lobby, representatives of each family were sitting on chairs, with juniors from each family behind them, looking at them curiously. Until this moment, they still don't know who this person is who can make Long Daoxing take over as his father's disciple. Junior brother, come forward. Long Daoxing said. Qin Jiang in the corner nodded slightly, got up and walked to the center of the lobby. Instantly, there were whispers in the hall. They didn't expect that this young man who was previously ignored by them was actually the one who asked Long Daoxing to accept him as his father's disciple. Especially Si Luyun and Enlon. Si Luyun looked at the figure who walked slowly to the center of the hall with disbelief in his eyes. If he remembered correctly, Long Daoxing's invitation clearly stated that this fourth junior brother was already a true disciple of the Bronze Bell sect. This also means that Qin Jiang is already a secret warrior at this time. Secret warrior. He is not even a secret warrior yet. He didn't want to believe this. A guy who was buried by his men not long ago, he could actually transform himself in a short period of time and become a true disciple of the Bronze Bell sect? Become a more noble figure than him. Beside him, Enlon was the same. A guy who was almost an aunt to her, actually became the fourth master of the Long family. And he was also a true disciple of the Bronze Bell sect's secret warrior level. She really couldn't believe it, but the facts were right in front of her. Without any illusion, in the center of the lobby, Qin Jiang took the 3 incense sticks from Long Daoxing and inserted them into the incense burner in front of him. As the music started, Long Daoxing recited the congratulatory message and the article announcing the death. After a moment, he raised his sleeves and waved. The ceremony is over. That the ceremony was coming to an end. Only Long Daoxing, Qin Jiang, and representatives from various families were left in the lobby. Long Daoxing had already changed into a short suit. He looked at everyone and smiled and said, "Everyone, Long has something to ask for, about this year's Golden Light Demon Fist quota. I forgot to set the VIP chapter. I'll put it up tomorrow." Chapter 93 Wu Ming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Long Daoxing's voice echoed in the lobby. Although he was smiling, coupled with his powerful short game, it was difficult not to think that this was a deliberate threat. However, even so, no one is willing to give up this spot. The strength of the Long family is really strong enough. Long Daoxing in front of him, as well as Long Wenliang, the captain of Ningyan, were both high-level secret warriors who had mastered the Golden Light Voltage Demonic Fist. In addition to the 2 of them, there are also 5 ordinary secret warriors sitting in charge. The strength of the Long family can be said to be second only to the Wang family. Even the famous Si family is lagging behind. Although there are 2 high-level secret warriors, in terms of strength, they are not as good as Long Daoxing and Long Wenliang. Great Elder, there is still some time to determine the quota. Are you a little anxious? Si Changyuan said. Although this quota would never go to the Si family, he still didn't want it to be given to the Long family. Next to him, there was a man with a mustache and a willow branch embroidered on his chest, which was the logo of the Lu family, one of the 9 noble families. Yes, Master Long, logically speaking, this quota should belong to my Lu family. Your Long family has not been qualified in the past 20 years. Lu Xianyi echoed that his Lu family was the head of a distinguished family, and he was only the second high-level secret warrior from that famous family. Oh. Master Lu is unwilling to give in. Long Daoxing picked up the teacup and took a sip. An invisible power came down, making everyone present change their expressions and hurriedly burst out to resist. Lu Xiang's eyes flashed with shock. Was this the aura of military life? Isn't this old guy almost ready to refine his martial arts skills? He is really going to take that step. There are only 2 ways to break through the secret martial arts. One is to accept the inheritance of the divine martial arts, and the other is to condense the martial life of the high-level secret martial arts by oneself, and then attack the secret martial arts. In comparison, there is no other way to condense martial life, but similarly, a secret warrior with a martial life is much more powerful than a 12th level peak secret warrior. In Ning'an County today, there is only the current leader of the Tongzhong sect. Old Monster Wang of the Wang family has condensed his martial life, and thus established his position as the first famous sect. After searching all over Qianzhou, even the longevity sect included, but there were not many secret warriors who could compete with Old Monster Wang. Now, is the Long family actually going to produce a figure like this? Isn't it too domineering for the great elder to act like this? If my brother finds out, I'm afraid he will be unhappy. Another person spoke, and his power suddenly erupted, and he instantly merged with several others, competing against Long Daoxing. Long Daoxing smiled when he heard this. Wang Ziming, are you going to use the sect master to suppress me? If I remember correctly, he doesn't seem to be in Ning'an now, right? Wang Ziming's expression changed slightly, his eyes narrowed slightly, and he said with some understanding, so that's it. The great elder was already prepared. If his brother was not here, Long Daoxing would be the strongest man in Ning'an City today. No wonder he chose this time to hold the apprenticeship ceremony just to confirm that his brother was no longer in Ning'an. What a scheming idea. No way, the fourth elder is overly praised. Long Daoxing smiled and put down the teacup, leaning forward slightly. So, do you agree or not? Everyone. Wang Ziming's eyes flashed, his eyes met with Si Changyuan's and Lu Xiangyi's, and they nodded one after another. Great elder, this matter is not a trivial matter. Let's consider it in the long run. He said. Long Daoxing's face turned cold when he heard this, and his momentum suddenly exploded, far exceeding before, and wisps of golden brilliance burst out from his body. So, you won't give me, Mr. Long, this face? Feeling the threatening golden light, Wang Ziming and the others turned slightly sideways, ready to attack Long Daoxing at any time. Everyone, why don't you listen to me and take a step back on both sides? Just when the two parties were at war with each other, a voice suddenly sounded. It was the person in the lobby who had not expressed anything. What kind of advice does Elder Su have? Long Daoxing looked at this man. Su Yun, the seventh elder of the Tongzhong sect, was also a master who had practiced the golden light voltage demonic fist. Su Yun waved the folding fan lightly in his hand. Great elder, after all, this position is no small matter. It represents a high-level secret warrior, which is extremely important to every family. Of course, if the rules were followed, the Long family would actually be eligible to compete for a spot, but they would just have to wait a few years. In my opinion, it is better to hold a competition at the end of this year, and each family will select 2 secret warriors who practice the bronze fire and bronze furnace technique. Whoever can beat the others will get the quota. What do you think? Long Daoxing looked thoughtful when he heard this, but the power on his body did not decrease at all, and it was not until half a quarter of an hour later that he slowly calmed down. He nodded slightly and looked at Wang Ziming and the others. I have no objection. What do you three think? The three of them looked at each other and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, they didn't start a fight. Although the three of them would not be beaten to death if they worked together, they would definitely not be beaten, and they might have to lie in bed for a year and a half. At that time, unless Old Monster Wang takes action, his beating will be in vain. Okay, I don't have any objections. When the time comes, each family will do what they can. Wang Ziming said. In the final analysis, the Long family only has a 6th level peak mystical warrior called Long Yi. As long as they join forces, they can still eliminate Long Yi in advance. In that case, please come back. Long Daoxing issued an order to expel guests. After everyone left, Long Daoxing lay down and leaned directly on the seat. His temperament returned to the same old farmer as when Qin Jiang first met him. Tap tap tap, the sound of footsteps sounded and Qin Jiang looked over. The person coming was none other than Elder Su, who had left earlier. Lao Su, I'm really troubling you. Your acting skills are so good. Long Daoxing laughed. TSK, you, be careful, we haven't gone far yet. Su Yun said with a smile. Qin Jiang looked at the two of them with some confusion. What's going on? Long Daoxing noticed Qin Jiang's gaze and raised his hand towards Su Yun, junior brother. This is my good brother, the seventh elder of the Tongzhong sect and the head of the Su family. Su Yun is extremely powerful. He is already at the 10th level. The secret warrior. Su Yun walked aside and sat down, looking very casual, and scolded with a smile, I can't compare to you, you actually have to practice martial arts without saying a word. He knows this old friend very well and will not reveal his full strength when he is not sure. Long Daoxing smiled and said, it's not even close, it's not even close. It will take at least 3 to 5 years to condense it. Su Yun nodded. Compared to the lifespan of more than 300 years at their level, 3 to 5 years is really nothing. But have you decided to let Tatsuno compete for the spot? He asked. Long Daoxing shook his head, of course not. The rules of Changsho sect are so easy to violate. My purpose is actually the 4th junior brother. Su Yun looked at Qin Jiang confused when he heard this. What do you mean? Is it possible that this quota was prepared for Qin Jiang? But this shouldn't be the case. Didn't Qin Jiang just complete the green fire body refining and enter the realm of the secret warrior? How can this compete with the 6th level secret warriors from each family? Long Daoxing also looked at Qin Jiang. Actually, the purpose of holding this apprenticeship ceremony is just for this matter, because according to the rules of the longevity sect, if our Long family wants to get the 3rd spot for the golden photovoltaic demonic fist, it will take at least 20 years. However, junior brother, although you are nominally a member of my Long family, you are not surnamed Long after all, which gives you room for maneuver. Qin Jiang suddenly realized, so senior brother's goal from the beginning was to hold a competition at the end of the year. Chapter 94 Linshui Town, Statue of the Aquatic Dragon King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Long Daoxing smiled and nodded, yes, I guessed that if I said this directly, they would definitely not agree, so I acted like this. If they don't agree, then we can only wait for another 5 years, but fortunately, Brother Su's acting skills are very good. If I hadn't known about it in advance, I would have been fooled, ha ha ha. Where, if you didn't have the strength close to martial arts to suppress them, how could they agree so easily? In the final analysis, it is still because of strength. Su Yun said with a smile. Long Daoxing smiled and waved his hand, you were a talker back then, but you haven't changed at all after so many years, haha. He looked at Qin Jiang and said, junior brother, you have great potential. I think your current strength is no weaker than some 5th level secret warriors. After Qin Jiang finished speaking, Su Yun spit out the tea in his mouth first. What are you talking about? His strength is no weaker than that of a 5th level secret warrior. Didn't you say that he has just mastered the bronze fire furnace skill? Long Daoxing looked at him, yes, is there any conflict? Su Yun took a breath, listen. Do you want to listen to what you are saying? He has just mastered the bronze fire furnace skill, and his strength is no weaker than that of a 5th level secret warrior. Can these things be said together? In all these years in Ningyan, no, in all these years in Qianzhou, I have never heard of anyone who can compete with a 5th level secret warrior after just becoming a secret warrior. Not to mention the 5th level, being able to compete with the 3rd level, or even barely defeating the 2nd level mystical warrior, is considered a monster level figure. Enough to make some old monsters from the longevity sect fight for it. Long Daoxing smiled with satisfaction when he saw this. You may not know that junior brother was able to defeat the 2nd level secret warrior when he was a true warrior, therefore, it is also expected that after becoming a secret warrior for the first time, he can have the strength to compete with a 5th level secret warrior. You also know how big the gap is between true warriors and secret warriors. This information cannot actually be hidden. After all, Qin Jiang had already shown a demon-like talent when he was in Black Mountain City. What he can do is to pave the way for Qin Jiang as much as possible, so as to become stronger as quickly as possible. Besides, a secret warrior is no longer a seedling, but a big tree that can shelter from wind and rain. How can we continue to withhold development because of some possible hidden dangers? The folding fan in Su Yun's hand made a rubbing sound when he held it unconsciously. He even wondered if his ears were broken. What did he hear? The true warrior defeated the second-level secret warrior. Is this talking about storytelling? Is this talking about unofficial history? He looked at Qin Jiang with a look of inquiry and hope in his eyes. Qin Jiang nodded slightly, probably not weak. Su Yun's facial features suddenly squeezed together. He really wanted to slap himself. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have bothered, and we would have arranged for people to solve the strange fog together. He looked at Long Daoxing, who was drinking tea leisurely, pointed and was speechless. You old man, you really deserve to die. You really deserve to die. It doesn't matter that I am so powerful, or that there are so many geniuses in my family, this time I actually brought back such a peerless monster. How come the Long family is so lucky? Suddenly, he felt like crying, but as the head of a prominent family, he was restrained from crying. Let's talk. My brother is about to give birth. I will go back to pick up my dad from school. After that, he turned around and left, leaving Qin Jiang and Long Daoxing looking at each other. After a few seconds, Long Daoxing laughed stiffly, he. That's what happened to Lao Su. His brain was damaged back then, he. After laughing for a moment, even Qin Jiang couldn't bear to listen anymore, and immediately said, if nothing happens, I will go back. Long Daoxing quickly stopped laughing and cleared his throat. No, I haven't finished yet, there is still some time until the end of the year, and I plan to try my best to push you to the level of a 4th-level mystic warrior before the end of the year. In this way, with your strength at that time, you should be able to sweep all the secret warriors in Ningen, but to be on the safe side, I will let the 3rd child take action to defeat the 6th-level peak secret warriors of the Wang family and the Lu family. Qin Jiang thought for a moment after hearing this, it doesn't have to be like this, I can sweep it all by myself. I will be a little more serious about the true disciple qualifying competition this time. After saying that, he left directly. After Qin Jiang left, Long Daoxing sat on the chair. He heard what Qin Jiang meant, I want to show my strength in the true disciple qualifying competition. However, listening to Qin Jiang's tone, why does it feel like this qualifying match is like playing house? Although Lu Chenyi of the Lu family, who ranks first among the true disciples today, is only a 4th-level secret warrior, but it is said that he got some opportunities outside and had a source weapon divine sword beside him. On the basis of the bronze fire and bronze furnace skill, he practiced another secret martial art. The power is quite impressive, and it can compete with 5th-level mystic warriors, and even threaten 6th-level warriors. He had asked Long Qihan to tell Qin Jiang this news, but even if he already knew it, Qin Jiang still didn't care. Do you really not care, or do you simply have confidence in yourself? After thinking about it, he didn't know, but he could go and take a look when the game came. A few days later, outside Ningen City, Linshui town, Qin Jiang was walking on the small road in the town. The road was well built and paved with stones. The edge of the road was next to a small river with a light red color called Hongshui River. Looking around, this Linshui town seemed to be built on the water. The moist air flowed into the internal organs through the nose, which was quite quiet like the small town in the south of the Yangtze River in the previous life. Walking along the river, there were many fish swimming in the water. There were old fishermen wearing straw raincoats fishing, and women beating and washing clothes. Not long after walking, a stone statue with a dragon head and a human body, almost 3 meters high, appeared in front of us. It was carved from some kind of stone mixed with quartz. The left hand of the stone statue held a small rectangular object, and the right hand held a book, which was also carved from stone. In front of the statue was an offering table, and there were half-burned incense sticks in the incense burner. This was his target this time, the Aquatic Dragon King statue of Linshui town. According to legend, hundreds of years ago, the Red Water River was not called this name. At that time, the people here did not offer sacrifices to the Canglang Dragon King, which angered the Dragon King and triggered a flood. It was this Aquatic Dragon King who blocked the intersection of the Red Water River and the Canglang River, blocking the flood. The rectangular object was the object he used to stabilize the water. Later, the flood subsided, but the Canglang Dragon King became even more angry. He ordered people to press the Aquatic Dragon King to the source of the Red Water River, peel off his skin and pull out his tendons, and cut off his flesh inch by inch. The blood flowed for 3 months, dyeing the river red, and then it was renamed the Red Water River. Walking slowly forward, he came to the statue of the aquatic dragon king. The children around the stone statue saw Qin Jiang's luxurious clothes and hid away. Qin Jiang looked at the stone statue. In this world, many legends have become legends because of the long time. In fact, many of these legends are actually things that happened. Raised his hand and pressed on the statue of the aquatic dragon king. Potential points absorbed. 0.5 0.4 0.5 0.6. Potential points, 708.8. Chapter 95, Black Evil Burning Heaven. Demonic Scripture, Man Slaughters Dragon Shore. You are listening at novelfull.audio. More than 20 potential points have been added, which is much more than the previous stone lion statue. It's normal when you think about it. Linshui town is much larger than the villages near Shusha River, and its population is much larger. Even Hongshui River itself is wider than Shusha River. Withdrawing his hand, Qin Jiang took out a 100-tael silver note from his arms and put it into the donation box. He picked up a stick of incense and flicked it, causing the incense head to rub against the air and ignite. After offering incense, he left directly. There were still many places to go today. It's night. Yunhe Courtyard. Qin Jiang lay on his back in the yard, feeling the warm evening breeze comfortably. After a moment, he opened his eyes and his gaze fell on the panel. Potential points, 1156.8. During the day, he visited the surrounding villages and small towns, and finally gathered the potential points needed to perform the leap deduction of the Black Demon statue. Potential, deduction, Black Evil Demon Image skill. The deduction is complete. Haisha Golem skill, perfection, advanced Black Demon Burning Sky Magic Book, first level, January 4000, 96%. Black Evil Burning Sky Magic Book, first level, January 4000, 96%. Potential points, 56.8. Call. The raging black flames instantly rose up and turned into an illusory black fire figure. Almost instantly, Qin Jiang's figure skyrocketed and turned into a 6-foot giant. The black gold auspicious cloud robe on his body was no longer unbearable, and with a bang, it turned into debris all over the sky. The next moment, the black fire humanoid turned into a whirlwind and enveloped Qin Jiang, dissipating in the blink of an eye. At this time, Qin Jiang was already covered in black brocade clothes, and the surface slightly reflected the moonlight, giving it the texture of flowing black flames. He exhaled slightly, his figure gradually returned to normal human size, and the clothes on his body also changed and shrank. This is a piece of clothing that he condensed using the black evil fire. Whether it is defense or the degree of stretch, it can be controlled by himself. After a moment of adapting, his eyes fell behind the Black Fiend Burning Sky Magic Book, his eyes brightening slightly. The first level alone requires 4,000 experience points, which is far more than the Bronze Furnace skill, almost double the amount. Feeling oneself, the original limit of the Bronze Furnace skill has been broken, and there is a sense of comfort like a fish leaping into the sky. Potential, add some points, Black Evil Burning Sky Magic Book. Black Fiend Burning Sky Magic Book, first level, January 4000, experience value plus 4,000. Haisha Burning Sky Magic Book, second level, 1/4500. Potential points, 16.8. The black flame rose for a moment and then slowly dissipated, but the remaining heat still burned the air, and the air flow surged and blew away the heat. Seeing that there were only less than 20 potential points left, he couldn't help but sigh. He really couldn't help but use it. The potential points obtained after searching so many places were used up in less than half an hour. The next day, Qin Jiang opened the door and breathed in the fresh morning air. Before he could stretch, there was a rush of footsteps outside the hospital. Puff! 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 There was a knock on the door. Qin Jiang waved his hand, the courtyard door opened, and Long Yuesheng walked in quickly. "Brother Long, why are you so urgent?" he asked with a smile. Long Yuesheng's expression froze when he heard the 3 words of Brother Long, and then he gritted his teeth and said, "Fourth uncle, there is news about Jinyu Pavilion." Ha! Qin Jiang instantly appeared in front of Long Yuesheng. "Where is it?" Long Yuesheng's pupils shrank. At that moment, he didn't even see Qin Jiang's movements clearly. A sense of frustration welled up in my heart. In Linshui town, I found out that there is a large number of immigrants coming in and out. As expected, they should all be arrested from various cities, villages and towns in the county. However, I don't know where these people were sent in the end, and no trace of emigration was found. If they were not killed directly, they should have been imprisoned in a secret place or moved out of the tunnel. Do you know the location of those people? Qin Jiang asked. There is a brothel called Sushifang. If nothing goes wrong, this should be it. Long Yuesheng said. Qin Jiang's eyes froze when he heard this. Brothel. It's a brothel again. Is it possible that Mtlnovel has something to do with this matter? My sister disappeared in the brothel, and the black ball whose origin is unknown to this day was also found in the brothel. Now, it is actually related to human trafficking. In addition, Mtlnovel once said that she was originally from Ning'an City, so maybe she has something to do with her. Let's go. Go to Linshui town. Tap tap tap. Tap tap tap. The rapid sound of horse hooves shook the streets, and a queue of 500 black-armored warriors rushed into Linshui town and headed straight for Sushifang. These people are all the elites of the Long family. Each of them is a martial artist who has practiced martial arts, and nearly half of them are second-rate masters. There are 10 knights and 1 officer, and 100 knights and 1 general. The leader of each official is a master in the realm of divine will, and the general leader is a master-level figure at the pinnacle of divine will. 4th Master. Do you want to go in directly? Beside Qin Jiang, a strong man wearing black armor with dragon patterns asked. He is the leader of these 500 black armor troops. His name is Longan, and he is also the leader of a branch of the Long family. His strength has reached the level of a 4th-level secret warrior. He is second only to Long Yi among the ordinary secret warriors of the Long family. After receiving the order this time, he was actually a little unhappy. Although Qin Jiang worshipped the master of his old family as his disciple, he was still a foreigner after all. How could he be given such great power? But this was Long Daosheng's idea after all, and he had no way to disobey it, so he could only bring people here. However, being able to wipe out the people of Jinyu Pavilion somewhat eased his dissatisfaction. The name of Jinyu Pavilion is quite grand, but when it comes to doing things, it is like a rat in the gutter, hiding in the dark all day long, and there is no chance to catch it. No need, you take people to take blocking measures and don't let people run away. Qin Jiang said. Longan showed a trace of displeasure when he heard this. Okay, I'll be guarding outside. If there is any accident, just crush the request for help and I will go to support immediately. Okay, I know. Qin Jiang said. After a while, they arrived at Sushifang, which was a 3-story building with pink gauze curtains hanging on the doors and windows. Surround it. No one is allowed to leave. Longan shouted, and the black-armored army quickly surrounded Sushifang, but in just a few breaths, the entire Sushifang was completely surrounded and killed. Until then, the guests in Sushifang reacted slowly. What's going on? Who's outside? What are you doing? Is it the Jinyu army of the county lieutenant? Do you know who I am? No. That logo is the black armor army of the Long family. The butcher Longan is here. Qin Jiang listened to the discussion in the small building and looked at Longan. The leader of the Long army actually has the title of a butcher, which is really unexpected. Longan's face was serious, and he couldn't help but feel a little unhappy when he saw Qin Jiang's frivolous smile. Compared to Mr. Qi Han, this so-called 4th master is much worse. It's just a frog in the well, just a group of small minions who are scared of being killed. Don't take it seriously. Qin Jiang nodded, turned over and got off the horse. Wait for me to come out. After that, he walked directly into the sushi shop. After Qin Jiang walked into the sushi shop, Longan raised his hand slightly, and the black armor army received the order. The 50 clerks each assembled a long stick with a thick top and a pointed bottom from the weapon bags they brought. Swish. The long stick was thrust into the soil under the feet by the chief official. This was a special weapon they developed in the process of dealing with the Jinyu Pavilion. It was to prevent the people from the Jinyu Pavilion from escaping through the tunnel. Chapter 96, Instant Kill, Jinyu Pavilion. Qi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Jiang walked into Sushifang, and a beautiful middle-aged woman ran over with a panicked face. Sir. Sir. What's going on? Our filial piety in Sushifang has never been less. As she spoke, she took out 3 banknotes worth 100 taels and stuffed them into Qin Jiang's hand. Qin Jiang raised his eyebrows and collected the banknotes, looking around. The guests and girls around them all looked panicked, some were timid, and their eyes were even filled with fear. There was no way they could help it. Although they didn't know Qin Jiang, none of them knew Long An's reputation, that was the executioner of the Long family in the county city. Human massacre with thousands of lives in his hands. In the entire Ning'an city, including the 100-mile radius around Ning'an city, there is no one who doesn't know the name Ren Tu Longan. This is the person who can really stop children from crying at night. Even the county magistrate of Linshui town would never dare to provoke him. Qin Jiang smiled and waved his hand. It's okay, just keep going, I'll go to the backyard to take a look. After he finished speaking, the people around him did not move. After looking at each other, they all wisely chose to stay put. They thought so, but that Rentu from Longan was outside. God knows when he would come in. If you feel bad after seeing them running around and want to kill a few people to add to the fun, isn't that the end of the world? At least, they knew that Rentu would not personally kill an ordinary person who did not resist. Old madam, are you the madam? Qin Jiang looked at the beautiful middle-aged woman and asked. The beautiful middle-aged woman nodded. Yes, yes, I am the madam of Sushifang. Come with me. Qin Jiang said, and then walked straight to the backyard. The middle-aged beautiful woman's eyes changed slightly. What does this mean? Is it possible that this young master likes women? What are you dawdling about? Qin Jiang's voice came, and the beautiful middle-aged woman was excited. Without thinking any more, she quickly followed. When he came to the backyard, Qin Jiang looked at the yard. There was a well in the center, tightly covered with a stone disc. A large locust tree was planted on the edge of the wellhead. He shook his head with a smile and walked to the mouth of the well. The madam followed quickly, looking a little nervous. Old madam, do you Jinyu Pavilion like to dig wells so much? Do you still have to plant a locust tree at the mouth of the well? Are you afraid that others will not know that this is the place where Jinyu Pavilion belongs? As he said that, he stretched out his hand and touched the stone plate at the mouth of the well. You guys are not very good at aesthetics. It's too ugly. The beautiful middle-aged woman's face changed slightly. Sir, what do you mean? I don't understand, mother. As she spoke, a cold light appeared in her eyes, and her palms were quietly placed on her waist, ready to deliver a fatal blow at any time. Qin Jiang shook his head with a smile, and an arm burning with black fire appeared behind him, directly holding the beautiful woman's neck and raising it into the air. The black fire burned, but it did not burn the beautiful woman's body, but the hot air still made her hair curl. Even the words are the same. If you don't understand, doesn't it mean you want to pretend to be stupid when you understand? Isn't that right? Don't you think it's inappropriate for a master-level figure to be an old bastard here? Sir, whatever you want to do, I will tell you everything I know. The beautiful woman spoke out with difficulty. At the moment, she has no power to resist at all, and can only hope that she still has some value. Qin Jiang ignored it and made a move toward a certain wooden house in the courtyard, volleying in the air. Bang! With the sound of wood chips exploding, the entire wooden house shattered into gray powder. A middle-aged man in brocade clothes was wrapped in a transparent air barrier, like a bug in amber, unable to move at all. Even breathing became difficult because the air was extremely compressed, and his face gradually turned red. Sir! If you want to know everything, I said, let your brother go. The beautiful woman said with difficulty. The hot air around her made her breathless. Every breath she took felt like she was swallowing hot oil. Qin Jiang smiled when he heard this. It turns out they are brothers and sisters. If they are not siblings, then I can rest assured and go on the road in good order. As the words fell, the beautiful woman's eyes showed fear. She never expected that the guy in front of her had no intention of interrogating her at all. Don't do it. Please. Spare my life. She suppressed the hot panic in her chest and shouted. Shut up. Don't say it. The middle-aged man's face turned red, looking a little ferocious, and he looked at Qin Jiang with deep hatred in his eyes. The dogs of Xia Kingdom, King Huai will take revenge on us. Sister, don't say anything. Ah. I say. I say. I say. The sound of bone cracking came from the middle-aged man's body, and the skin was squeezed by the compressed air until it cracked. Qin Jiang moved his palm slightly, and the middle-aged man came closer, removing the air barrier, and the other man's figure fell to the ground. Behind him, the black fire arm also placed the beautiful woman on the middle-aged man. Say it. Qin Jiang said. The middle-aged man took a breath, glanced at his sister with evasive eyes, and then raised his hand to point to the mouth of the well. They are down there. The people arrested are also the people from Jinyu Pavilion. Qin Jiang narrowed his eyes slightly and walked to the wellhead. It was strange that there was no breath. Is it because of this stone plate? He placed his palm on the stone plate and with a wave of his hand, the stone plate flew directly and was embedded heavily in the courtyard wall. Suddenly, an aura belonging to the secret warrior instantly escaped. Qin Jiang's eyes flashed and he rushed directly into the well. After 2 seconds of silence, the ground around the wellhead deformed, and a huge bulge instantly appeared. Boom! With a loud explosion, the brother and sister of the old procuress were blown away by the strong hurricane. The brother and sister who fell heavily to the ground looked at each other, and retreated with difficulty, trying to escape, but before they retreated far, there was another huge roar, and the splashing stones hit them, and they lost their ability to move directly. The huge noise also attracted the attention of Long and outside, and he rushed into Sushifang without any hesitation. In any case, Qin Jiang has been confirmed as the disciple of the old master, that is, the legitimate fourth master of the Long family. Rushing into the backyard, a blue fire copper furnace above his head gradually solidified, but before he could do anything, he was forced back by a wave of heat. Is this blue fire? Such a strong blue fire. He looked over with shock in his eyes, and a figure emerged in a thick smoke and dust. Woo! A breeze blew, revealing the figure behind the smoke and dust. He widened his eyes, full of disbelief, and saw Qin Jiang carrying a person in one hand and walking out slowly. What really made his pupils shrink was that the man being carried had a golden mask on his face. Jin Qi. There was a symbol printed on the forehead of the mask, which means 7 in the ancient text of Huai country. Oh. It seems that Lord Long knows this person. Qin Jiang's voice sounded in his ears. Long straightened his body after hearing this, replying to the fourth master, I have dealt with him before. This is a senior executive of Jinyu Pavilion. They are divided into gold-faced and jade-faced according to their strength. The jade-faced ones represent high-level secret warriors of level 7 and above, while the gold-faced ones represent ordinary secret warriors below level 7. This Jin Qi is a 5th-level secret warrior. At this point, his heart was shocked. Jin Qi, a 5th-level secret warrior. He had fought with the opponent before, but he was defeated in just a dozen moves. If the third master had not been there at the time, I am afraid that he would have had a chance to escape only by burning the source of power. But what did he see now? This guy who could defeat him in just a dozen moves was actually held by a young man with one hand. Moreover, he rushed over the next moment after hearing the sound. The distance between them would not exceed 1 breath. In other words, the guy in front of him only took less than 1 breath to defeat Jin Qi, who could defeat him in a short time. How strong is this fourth master? Chapter 97. I'll teach you. Hang it up and pour water and mustard oil on it. You are listening at Mtlnovel Aud. For a moment, Longan looked at everything in front of him blankly, seemingly at a loss. Is this the 5th-level secret warrior? But there was a hint of doubt and a touch of disappointment in Qin Jiang's eyes. He seemed to have underestimated his own strength. Yes, the top 5 among the golden faces of Jinyu Pavilion are all 6th-level secret warriors, and the 6th to 10th ones are all 5th-level secret warriors. The strength of Jin Qi is also superior among the 5th-level mystic warriors, and is not far from the 6th-level mystical warriors. Longan said, his voice unconsciously becoming more respectful. Qin Jiang nodded, threw Jin Qi down, raised his hand and waved a green fire to seal the opponent's Qi and meridian nodes. Take him down for interrogation. I have severed the meridians all over his body. By the way, arrange for someone to go down the well. After saying that, he jumped directly from the wellhead. As soon as he landed, he realized that Jin Qi was trying to escape, but he didn't have time to find anyone. After landing, Qin Jiang looked around. It was a huge square space, surrounded by cages where people were imprisoned, and people dressed in black were lying everywhere. These people all belonged to Jinyu Pavilion. Just now, because they were busy chasing Jin Qi, they used their strength to knock these people out. He checked the cages one by one along the edge and found no trace of Qin Hong. After looking around, frowning slightly, there was a sound of landing behind him. It was from the black armored army. Fourth Master. What are your orders? The leader of the black armored general asked. Bring these people from Jinyu Pavilion back for interrogation. The remaining people in the cage will be questioned one by one about where they are from, what they do, and whether they know why they were arrested. Qin Jiang said. Yes. The black armored general raised his hand and commanded the black armored sergeant behind him to tie up these people and send them to the ground. It's night, in the long mansion dungeon, in a stainless steel cell. Qin Jiang sat on a chair, playing with a golden mask in his hand, looking at Jin Qi, who was half kneeling on the ground opposite him and had taken off his mask. Is a young man who looks like a young man, but in fact, secret warriors can control their own faces, but few people do. So, are you so tough-mouthed? He asked. Long An's expression on the side changed slightly. Fourth Master, don't worry, give me one more night, I will definitely be able to pry his mouth open. He is known as the mass murderer, and there is no problem in letting him kill people, but if he is forced to extract a confession, he will slander. But if he wants to extract any information, he is not good at it. Looking at Jin Qi in front of him, he felt angry and didn't want to lose face in front of Qin Jiang. Humph, Longan, you are still such a waste. If it weren't for this guy this time, I would have captured you alive. If one day comes, I will definitely let you taste the pain of this flesh and blood. Jin Qiban lowered his head with disdain in his eyes. If the boat hadn't capsized in the gutter this time, how could Longan, a mere fourth-level secret warrior, have shown off his power here? A future? Do you still want a future? See if I don't beat you to death. Immediately, Longan picked up the whip dipped in salt water and was about to throw it away, but Qin Jiang raised his hand to stop him. Okay, just beat him. I'll teach you how to do it. Hang him up and pour water into his nose. Mustard oil should be better than water. I have to say that punishment in this world is still too backward, and many methods have not yet been developed. Long An's whip-swinging hand stopped in mid-air, and his eyes looked at Qin Jiang with a little surprise, and then became a little excited. Just thinking about this makes him, a secret warrior, feel uncomfortable. How did Fourth Master come up with such a wonderful method? After a while, I said. Ah. Stop telling me. Stop telling me. I really mean it. Ask. I beg you to ask quickly. Jin Qi was hanging upside down and wailing in pain. Snot mixed with mustard oil and chili oil slipped into his eyes, making him feel like he was going blind. Longan, who was standing next to him, had no intention of stopping, with excitement in his eyes. Although this method will not put a secret warrior's life in danger, it can cause the other party extreme pain. Qin Jiang had no intention of stopping at the side. This was just the beginning. There was no guarantee that the other party wouldn't tell lies. He had to wait until the other party felt despair before he could stop. After all, this method is not fatal, it is used to break through psychological defenses. A few more hours later, Jin Qi had become weak. Every time he wheezed, he was accompanied by a cough, and even the intensity of the cough was much weaker. I said, please ask me, I really do. Before he could finish speaking, he passed out. Qin Jiang nodded slightly. It was almost done. Just when he raised his hand slightly to stop, with quick eyes and quick hands, Longan instantly understood Qin Jiang's meaning and directly picked up the small wooden stick on the side. He suddenly dipped a large amount of the gelatinous mixture of mustard oil, chili oil, sesame oil, etc. into the plate nearby, and stabbed it directly into Qin Ji's nostril. Ah! The screams echoed in the stainless steel dungeon, and all the prisoners in the dungeon couldn't help but tremble. They had been listening to the screams for half the night, and the wails never stopped. It was simply mental torture. Don't talk about them. Even Qin Jiang felt a little numb and waved his hands quickly. Okay, don't mess it up, stop for a while. Longin was stunned. Is this the end? He pinched his earlobes and glanced at Qin Ji, who had passed out again. He casually pulled out the 2 wooden sticks from his nostrils and threw them aside in disgust. I really can't help but play it, there are not many death row prisoners who can stand it. Get 2 buckets of water and wake him up. After a while, accompanied by the sound of splashing water, Qin Ji opened his eyes in confusion. Who am I? Where am I? What am I going to do? Just when he was still confused, he suddenly saw the person standing in front of him and the devil-like figure behind him. I'll tell you everything. Although his eyes were full of fear and he wanted to fly out of here, he was exhausted by the torture at this time, especially the mental torture. When the stick covered with mustard oil was poked into his nostrils, he felt like he was back in his childhood. When he saw the grandmother who would secretly give him candy, the past flickered like a shadow puppet. Tell me everything you know. Longin opened his mouth. Years of experience made him know that he should not ask at this time, but let the other party speak actively. Maybe there will be unexpected gains. Qin Ji took a breath. Is there any water? It's too choking. Cough. He coughed softly, and what he coughed out was not droplets, but red mixed with bright yellow oil. Hey, do you want to be hung up again? Longin said viciously. Give it to him. Qin Jiang said, if the other party's words can satisfy him, he doesn't mind giving him a decent death. Longin looked at Qin Ji and snorted, turned around and took a bucket of water, grabbed Qin Ji's hair and poured it into his mouth. After a while, Longin threw the bucket aside. Speak. Qin Ji shook his head and shook off the water stains on his face. Ning'an City. The people who cooperate with our Jinyu Pavilion are from your Ning'an City, either famous families or prominent families. Chapter 98. A man who can bend and stretch is a good husband. I admire you very much. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon hearing this, Longin walked over and grabbed Qin Ji's collar. Not caring about the oil stains on his hands, he leaned down, his eyes filled with sternness. You'd better tell me clearly, whether it's a famous family or a famous family, which one it is. The rich scarlet murderous aura escaped from Longin's body, and Qin Ji's heart trembled. Such murderous aura really killed countless people. I don't know the specifics. That's something only Yumian is qualified to know. Really, I'm not lying to you. I'm only in charge of the Linshui town stronghold. I really don't know the rest. He said, this is the truth. The hierarchy in Jinyu Pavilion is very strict, and the gap between jade and gold faces is the same as that between humans and dogs. Then what are those people you arrested used for? Qin Jiang suddenly said. Qin Ji shrunk his chin when he heard Qin Jiang's voice. Send it back to the Jinyu Pavilion headquarters for death soldier training. Those who fail will be made into human puppets and given to some Xia businessmen and officials who cooperate with our Jinyu Pavilion. Qin Jiang's eyes froze when he heard the figure, raised his hand and waved a ball of green fire, gathering a female face in front of Qin Ji. Have you seen this person? If you haven't, you can just die. The blazing flames made Qin Ji feel hot, but Qin Jiang's cold voice made him couldn't help but feel excited. I've seen her, she seems to have been captured by Black Mountain City. Qin Jiang came to Qin Ji in an instant and looked at him condescendingly. Where is she? Qin Ji opened his eyes slightly. No, I don't know. Click. There was a sound of bone cracking, and Qin Jiang's palm had already pinched Qin Ji's chin. He was so fast that not even Longin could see clearly. The fourth master's strength is probably more than just the fifth level. I'll give you another chance. Qin Jiang said. Qin Ji struggled hard, his eyes filled with fear. You let me say it. Don't pinch my mouth. At this time, his psychological defenses have long been defeated. He is no longer the Jinyu he was before. He just wants to live or die happily. Qin Jiang let go of his hand and Jinyu gasped, I really don't know. This woman was one of the people sent from Black Mountain City that day. I only noticed her because of her outstanding temperament, but later, Yu Jiu came to my place for some reason and took all the people from Black Mountain City away. Really, that's all I know. Qin Jiang frowned when he heard this. He shouldn't. Not only did they collude with the county magistrate to arrest her sister, but this time a high-level secret warrior came to pick her up directly. Is there anything special about my sister? Is it a treasure? Or a certain identity? That was all he could think of. Last question, where is the headquarters of Jinyu Pavilion? He asked. Jinyu shook his head, I don't know. The location of the Jinyu Pavilion headquarters changes frequently. Even I only have the opportunity to go to the headquarters during the triennial general meeting. Qin Jiang frowned and looked at Longan. Write down the other information and make a copy for me when the time comes. Are the two brothers and sisters from Sushifang dead? Longan was stunned for a moment, thinking of the old bastard brother and sister. No, I'm locked up in room C, number 3. Qin Jiang nodded, okay, I'll go over there and leave this to you. Longan grinned, understood. After Qin Jiang left, Longan was playing with a thin wooden stick in his hand. Jinyu, did you enjoy beating me last time? Let me have some fun with you today. No, you can't do this, I said it. I said it all. Don't hang on me. You ask. Kill me. I beg you to kill me. Qin Jiang walked out of the stainless steel cell and came to a wooden cell area. He found number 3C and asked someone to open it. Entering the cell, the madam brother and sister sat next to each other, their faces ashen. They have heard of the reputation of the Long family dungeon more than once. Not to mention getting out alive, even if they are dead, few can get out completely. Most of them only get out in pieces in the end. Seeing Qin Jiang coming in, the middle-aged man's body stepped back uncontrollably. In the past, he was actually a hot-tempered and very tough man, but after experiencing the pain of the broken bone, he realized that he was not a tough guy at all. But you can't blame him, no matter who experiences that kind of pain, they will shrink back. Qin Jiang looked at the middle-aged man who kept retreating, smiled, and walked straight over. He walked up to the middle-aged man, knelt down, and patted him on the shoulder. Why are you hiding from me? I will kill all my enemies, but I am still very tolerant of enemies who are willing to surrender. It is not a shame to be greedy for life and afraid of death. Only a husband who can bend and stretch can be a husband. You did a great job on this and I admire you. He said with a smile. After the words fell, the middle-aged man looked confused. What do you mean? This adult says he appreciates me. He couldn't help but think of his previous days in Jinyu Pavilion. Although he was a master-level expert, he was still being bossed around like a dog. The little desire to serve the country that I had back then has long been worn away by the endless trivial matters. Not only him, but also the beautiful woman beside him looked confused, and her intuition told her that this was definitely not what Qin Jiang said. Sir, what do you mean? The middle-aged man asked. Qin Jiang did not answer, but turned to ask, I don't know what your name is yet. And your sister? The middle-aged man was stunned. How long had it been since he had been respected like this? At this time, he had forgotten that Qin Jiang almost killed him and his sister during the day. My lord, I am Li Xuanan, and my sister is Li Miaoyan. Li Xuanan said. Qin Jiang smiled slightly. Nice name, don't worry, I won't kill you. Oh, and your sister? Just settle down in Ningyan in the future. It's not bad to be a Xia countryman. Why go to Huai country to be a slave? Li Xuanan nodded heavily. My lord, can my brother and I follow you? Qin Jiang smiled and shook his head, got up and opened the prison door. No, you can live the life you want, go ahead, no one will stop you. Li Xuanan's face was full of excitement. He really didn't expect this lord to be so open-minded. So broad-minded. Li Miaoyan beside him looked at the open prison door with some doubt. She even suspected that Qin Jiang had some quirks and planned to wait until she and her brother were out of the prison before killing him. She knew that, not to mention Ning'an City, even in the local families of Linshui town, there were many twisted and perverted people. Every year, Sushifang loses more than 30 men and women in this regard. Don't believe it? It's up to you. The prison door will not be closed. Qin Jiang waved his hand and signaled the people around him to leave. In just a few breaths, the entire C-cell area was unattended. The two tentatively walked out of the cell door. Well, they were not dead, and there was no trap. When they walked out of the C-cell area, although the guards saw them with angry eyes, they had no intention of taking action. They walked out of the dungeon tremblingly, and the moment they saw the moon, they breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. Finally. Chapter 99, September 9th. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when they were relieved, they suddenly caught a glimpse of a figure sitting on the wall from the corner of their eyes. That's the third master of the Long family. Long Ye's reputation is even more terrifying than that of killing Longan. Because Longan was brought up by Long Ye alone. In particular, Tatsuno has not kept a low profile in recent years, but has taken many shots. Compared to Longan, everyone knows that Long Ye is more ruthless. It's a real grinding of bones and ashes, and the egg yolks have to be shaken off. Third senior brother, stop scaring people. Qin Jiang's figure suddenly appeared behind the two of them, putting his hands on their shoulders. Go ahead, just go boldly, no one will stop you. After saying that, he jumped up, sat next to Long Ye, picked up the wine jar and drank heavily. Long Ye's eyes widened slightly. My wine is not cheap, please save some for me. Qin Jiang smiled slightly, took out the 300 tael silver notes given to him by Li Miaoyan from his arms and stuffed them into Long Ye's hand. I'll pay for it. Long Ye looked at the 300 taels of silver notes in his hand, and the corners of his mouth twitched uncontrollably. Good boy, is this the 100,000 taels I gave you? Thinking of this, he felt uncomfortable all over and wanted to give himself a few big ears. His eyes fell on the old bastard brother and sister who had not yet left, and he said angrily, you still want to drink my wine if you haven't left yet. The madam brother and sister got excited and left quickly. As expected, there was no one to stop us along the way, and there were even a few guides. There was nothing we could do. Long Mansion was really big. After leaving Long Mansion, the breeze was blowing on the street, making the two of them feel like they were surviving a disaster. Sister, what is the identity of that adult? He actually has such a strong voice in the Long family. Li Xuanan asked. Li Miaoyan curled her lips. Didn't you hear that adult call Mr. Long, third senior brother? I guess the apprenticeship ceremony held by the Long family not long ago was held for this man. Li Xuanan suddenly realized, no wonder, it's that one. Hey! Those two over there. Why aren't you leaving? Do you want to go to the dungeon again? Shouted the guard captain at the gate of Long Mansion. The old bastard brother and sister were so excited that they didn't dare to say anything more and left quickly. When no one noticed, a mark of black fire flashed on the back of their necks, close to their ears. In the Long Mansion, on the courtyard wall, Long Yi looked at the departing madam brother and sister. Is it useful? I don't feel very reliable. Qin Jiang smiled. Of course, let's wait and see, maybe there will be some unexpected gains. The black fire mark was the locator he left on the two of them. He used Long Yi as a reference. As long as it exceeded Long Ye's source power level, he would automatically emit the unique fluctuations of black fire. By then, he will be able to find at least one Jinyan who belongs to Jinyu Pavilion. Maybe, there might even be a Jade Face, who could just have a fight with him and test his strength as a high-level secret warrior. It's up to you, but it's about your strength. I heard from Longan that you took down the Golden Seven in just one breath. Long Yi didn't dare or didn't want to believe it. Even he would have to take at least a cup of tea to win Jin Qi, but Qin Jiang was actually faster than him. Of course he knew that Qin Jiang would surpass him, but he didn't expect that this day would come so early. Yes, does third senior brother want to test my strength? Qin Jiang asked with a smile. Long Yi shook his head. No need, you have already proved your strength with facts, why should I bother you? After saying that, he pondered for a moment. How far have you reached in your bronze fire and bronze furnace skills now? It's done. Qin Jiang said casually. Long Yi froze on the spot. Although he had already guessed this possibility, he still couldn't believe it. He would rather believe that Qin Jiang has only reached the second or third level, but is very powerful in combat and can cross realms to defeat fifth-level mystical warriors. He does not want to believe that Qin Jiang not only surpasses him in strength, but also in realm. Didn't let it go, he smiled and nodded. Okay, that's great. It seems that the competition at the end of the year is already a sure thing. That a being who was able to overwhelm the secret warriors when he was a true warrior, he didn't think that the other party would only have this kind of strength after he achieved the secret martial arts. I'm afraid I won't be able to use a few tricks to deal with myself. He stood up and patted the dust on his body. You drink, I'll be back. A few days later, on the 9th day of September, the bronze bell gate opened. At this time, the mountainside of the main peak was already full of people. The outer circle was filled with inner disciples and some geniuses from the outer disciples, and the inner circle was filled with the sect's protectors and many true disciples. Qin Jiang was sitting in the inner circle, with Long Yi next to him. He looked at the position near the top of the mountain. The two elders who were presiding over the qualifying competition for true disciples were Lu Xiangyi and Su Yun that day. Fourth, you can just fight casually this time. Don't expose your full strength for now. It will only be safe after you get your quota at the end of the year and practice the golden photovoltaic magic fist. Long Yi said. For Qin Jiang, this qualifying match was actually almost like playing house, if it weren't for the fact that the first prize this time was a bottle of golden light spirit liquid, which was diluted with the power of the golden light source. He even thought it would be better not to participate directly. Ming, or the entire Jianzhou, is far from as peaceful as it seems now, as a place bordering the Huai kingdom. People everywhere in Jianzhou were panicked, fearing that the Huai kingdom's army would attack one day. Therefore, many forces have the idea of taking refuge in the Sephora kingdom. There are such guys even in Ning'an city, but they are hidden so deep that they have never been found, so, if Qin Jiang reveals too much talent, he might be assassinated. In Ning'an city, although Qin Jiang's current strength ranks in the top 20, it is still inferior to the high-level secret warriors above the 7th level. If the head of a family is shameless and personally goes to fight Qin Jiang, the Long family may not be able to protect Qin Jiang from a high-level secret warrior. After all, it is easier to catch a thief than to prevent one. Qin Jiang smiled. He didn't care whether he used his full strength or not. Even if he exposed his strength, what would happen? However, he looked at the many true disciples, about 30 of them. Most of them were still below the 2nd level, a few reached the 3rd level, and only 4 reached the 4th level. With such a lineup, it was really difficult for him to raise the desire to fight. Even if they were tied together, they couldn't stop a punch from his full state. I know, I will suppress my strength to the 4th level, the 3rd level, and the 2nd level. His study suddenly found that even when he had just broken through, he was much stronger than the one with the strongest aura here. Long Yi on the side had an expression of as expected. He had long been accustomed to it, and said helplessly, you just need to suppress your strength to the ordinary 4th level, and then use some more advanced skills to defeat Lu Chenyi. Speaking of this, he thought for a while. Lu Chenyi has a source weapon sword in his hand. You can pretend to be afraid of the source weapon, and then burst out at the critical moment. Isn't this a reasonable victory? Qin Jiang couldn't help laughing when he heard it. Third senior brother is really smart. Long Yi waved his hand. Thank you, thank you. If you think my suggestion is okay, I will invite you to Fenyi Pavilion to play when I am free tomorrow. Of course, I will invite you, but you must pay for it. Chapter 100 Renyao, Lu Chenyi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Jiang smiled when he heard this, but didn't respond. Long Daoxing had told him before not to give Long Yi the chance to run to Fenyi Pavilion. In fact, he was also quite curious. Although Long Yi looked like a man close to middle age, even younger than Long Yuesheng, but in fact, Long Yi was already an old man over 100 years old, although he was still in his prime compared to the lifespan of a secret warrior of more than 300 years, the experience of more than 100 years could not be faked. In fact, not only him, but also Long Daoxing and several elders and family heads that day, were more or less young and vigorous. Was it because of the influence of the secret martial arts? Could there really be a hidden trick left by the Changshou sect in the Qinghua Tonglu Gong and the Jingguan Guanhua fist? It was so unexpected that even someone as close to the martial arts realm as Long Daoxing could not detect it. Shaking his head, he didn't know, but even if there was a hidden trick, it would not affect him. He only needed to practice a few more secret martial arts, and he would naturally be able to get rid of the influence of the Qinghua Tonglu Gong. Third senior brother, does the source sword in Lu Chenyi's hand have any restrictions such as recognition of the master? He asked. If possible, he wanted to take the source sword from Lu Chenyi. Of course, how could a source sword not have such restrictions? Otherwise, even if he is the eldest son of the Lu family, he can't keep a source sword. He must have hidden it as a foundation. Long Yi said. Then is the source sword in his hand the same as the Qinghua copper furnace of Qinghua Peak? Since the sword can be used by people, why don't we see anyone operating the Qinghua copper furnace? Qin Jiang asked. Long Yi shook his head. It's different. How much secret weapon source power does his source weapon sword have? At most, it can only pass on secret weapons 3 or 5 times, but the Qinghua copper furnace is different. It contains a huge amount of secret weapon source power, which can achieve hundreds or even thousands of Qinghua body refining. If it explodes, I guess even the eldest brother will be seriously injured. Well, at least seriously injured, maybe he will have to be buried. He looked at Qin Jiang seriously, and suddenly looked at him. TSK, you don't want to snatch it, right? It's impossible, don't think about it. These source weapons that recognize the master can be detonated in a thought. Even if you really snatch it, what if he gets angry and detonates it directly? Right? It's not worth the loss. Qin Jiang nodded. If he couldn't snatch it, it would be a bit difficult to deal with. Time flies, and it's afternoon in a blink of an eye. The qualifying round is also coming to an end. Only 4 people have not yet decided the ranking. In addition to Qin Jiang and Lu Chenyi, there is also a strong man with a broad-bladed sword on his back. He is Yan Feng, the young master of the Yan family, one of the 9 clans. As for the last one, it is Ren Yao, the jewel in the crown of the Ren family, one of the 9 clans, a red-haired girl. A red-haired Vajra girl, judging from her face alone, no one would think that this is a pure girl who is ignorant of the world, but if you add her body, she will probably turn around and run away after being stunned for 2 seconds. Wearing a pink skirt, with fair skin, a strong body and knotted muscles, she is more visually impactful than Yan Feng. Her forearms alone are thicker than the thighs of ordinary adult men. She is more than 2 meters tall, her neck is almost invisible, and her head doesn't seem to grow out, but seems to be embedded in the muscles. Master Lu. Let's start. Ren Yao shouted. Her voice was not rough, and she was bold like a female man. After that, she jumped directly onto the battle stage and hooked her finger at Lu Chenyi. Lu Chenyi took a deep breath, drew out the black long sword from his waist and jumped onto the battlefield. This black long sword was the Black Death sword he got by chance. With the Black Death rebirth sword he practiced, it was enough to compete with the 5th level secret warrior. On the other side, Yan Feng also jumped onto the battlefield, took off the broad-bladed sword on his back and held it in his hand. With the blade against the battlefield, Qin Jiang walked slowly onto the battlefield, casually as if he was enjoying the scenery. Go ahead. He said. On the opposite side, Yan Feng's face turned cold. What a big tone. I know you are very talented, and even let the elder accept disciples on your behalf, but if you really think you are invincible at the same level, you are wrong. Today, I will let you try my Xianfeng mountain-breaking knife. After saying that, he stepped forward, the broad-bladed sword slightly tilted, and drew a straight line to cut Qin Jiang. Qin Jiang leaned back slightly, and the blade cut through his jaw. He raised his hand, spread his 5 fingers, and directly pinched the back of the knife, then turned around and pressed the blade directly into the battlefield. Then he kicked straight, carrying a strong wind to the face of Yan Feng. Yan Feng raised his arm to resist, but was still kicked back by the huge force, and at the same time loosened his hand holding the mountain-breaking knife. After a moment, Qin Jiang threw Yan Feng to the ground and walked down the battlefield slowly. He lay back on the chair lazily, watching Lu Chenyi and Ren Yao fighting on another battlefield, and occasionally took a grape and ate it with the skin and seeds. On the battlefield, Chenyi was like a ghost, waving the magic sword in his hand, and every blow cut Ren Yao's clothes, revealing her knotted muscles and a few strands of red hair. Ren Yao looked indignant. She was not practicing the Qinghua Tonglu Gong, but another extremely young secret martial arts of the Ren family. Although it is inferior to the blue fire copper furnace technique, it is very suitable for her, allowing her to cultivate this powerful body that is invincible at the same level. But in addition to her appearance being a little different from ordinary people, her physical agility is not as good as that of the secret warriors of the same level who practice the blue fire copper furnace technique. Moreover, Chenyi has a magic sword in his hand, and he does not fight her head-on, clearly wanting to wear her out. Shameless. Really the most shameless. She angrily swung her fist at Chenyi, but as expected, Chenyi dodged the punch. Dodge! Dodge! Are you a monkey? She roared angrily, and a layer of red flames burned around her body. It was the yang fire formed by the extreme yang qi. Boom! 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 She rushed towards Chenyi, much faster than before, but unfortunately, she was still not agile enough, and Chenyi just dodged casually. After a while, Ren Yao sat on the platform angrily, looked at Chenyi hatefully, turned over and walked off the platform, and left angrily. Chenyi stood on the platform with a calm face, not ashamed of his previous tactics at all. He was just using his strengths to attack the enemy's weaknesses. Looking down at the stage, Qin Jiang's lazy figure came into view. Qin Jiang, I've heard of your great name for a long time, let's go up on stage for a fight. He had heard earlier that Qin Jiang had become a 4th-level secret warrior in a very short time, and at the same time, he defeated a 5th-level secret warrior with the help of the terrain. I think his strength should not be underestimated, and he might really be able to compete with himself. Qin Jiang looked at him in surprise and asked with a smile, don't you want to rest and adjust? Although, even if Chenyi was in peak condition, he couldn't get interested. No need, my current condition is just right. Chenyi said, his black death sword will enter an active state after being stained with blood, which is a significant increase in his strength. After the blood dries up, it will not be as strong as it is now. Qin Jiang nodded and walked onto the stage. Go ahead. Chenyi was not polite. He had 2 secret martial arts, the green fire copper furnace skill and the black death rebirth sword, and his strength was stronger than that of an ordinary 4th-level secret warrior. With the help of the black death sword, he is especially good at quick attacks. And this is exactly what the blue fire copper furnace is not good at. He just relies on speed. A black shadow suddenly appeared in front of him, and his palm with blue fire pressed down like a palm leaf fan. Is anyone here? I want to ask, is it updated at midnight or at 7 o'clock?